These long dog days of summer, I mean, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer. When it comes to online college, Southern New Hampshire University is so good, it's scary. Listen, the facts don't lie. SNHU has degree programs that fit your goals, online classes that fit your life, and real support at every step. And if that wasn't enough, they've got some of the lowest online tuition rates in the U.S. This is an airtight case, you guys. Visit snhu.edu/morbid to get started. That's snhu.edu/morbid. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Hey, weirdos, I'm Ash.
I'm Alaina.
And I'm Jordan.
And this is a morbid/nighttime podcast crossover. Woo!
Today we have Jordan from Nighttime Podcast on the pod.
Our Canadian brethren.
He's the best. He's so much fun. We literally sat and talked for like 3 hours. So
We really did. It was like spooky shit, cryptid shit. We'll tell you all about it.
all kinds of shit. This is going to be a fun episode. We kind of did a spooky campfire tale, like round robin, where he brought 4 Canadian tales. They're all very different, not all cryptids. Like there's some cryptids, some paranormal, some just like cool, weird, spooky stuff. We did the same thing. And I think it turned out pretty cool.
I had so much fun.
We laughed a lot. We were spooked out. It was great.
Cried.
We laughed. We cried.
No.
We grew closer as people. No, it was wonderful. So if you haven't listened to Nighttime Podcast, I highly recommend you do so. Jordan is great. His podcast is great. And we hope you enjoy it.
And look out for another spooky collab soon with Jordan.
We're not done with him yet.
Never.
Thank you, Jordan, from Nighttime Podcast, for joining us. We're so excited.
I'm even more excited. I've never met a best-selling author podcaster before.
This is the truth.
I'm going to melt into my chair.
Alaina's like the most
where's,
humble human. You compliment her, and she's like,
I'm like,
Yeah. The people listening don't see her shirt that says best-selling author podcaster.
yeah, that says like you have to call me by that. Yeah. I just maintain this image.
it's kind of a weird dichotomy.
Well, it was weird that you made me sign something before I came on here to call you that. But
yeah,
whatever.
you know what?
I'm
We
cool.
don't have to talk about that, Jordan. Okay.
Oh, shoot.
that was
that's
an
right.
NDA that you signed. Okay.
Oh,
You'll be hearing from our attorneys. Okay.
See me
Yeah.
in small claims court.
Yeah. But thank you. And today we're going to be doing something a little different because we decided this would be a fun, like, international collab of sorts. And we all love weird shit. And we all love cryptids. We all love paranormal.
We love UFOs.
We love UFOs.
we love all sorts of weird
Big
things. And you start this with, this may be a little something different. Do you say that every episode? Because when I look at what you all do, it's like every week I'm like, whoa.
It's
They're
just we're
trying something
always going.
different.
I know. I
Yeah.
feel like we've been doing that lately, actually.
Yeah, we're in a place of testing lately,
Yeah.
like testing some new stuff.
Yeah.
Because we recently did like a little rebrand, which feels really gross to say. I don't know why.
Oh,
I feel like that's
yeah.
like such a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
But now we're not just true crime. We're like everything,
Yeah. We kind of took out the a true
everything-
crime podcast.
everything morbid.
I thought you've always been everything because I feel when I first
We
found
kinda
your
have.
show, I believe it was a paranormal story. But
Probably.
regardless, it's good. I think everyone listening needs more of you both. So if we can spread you around all the different topics, maybe like some baking kind of stuff,
Hell yeah,
recipes,
love that.
We'll both do that.
cleaning tips.
A lifestyle brand is what we become.
Oh, imagine Ash and
Well, that would
Alaina,
be
the
interesting.
lifestyle brand.
That would be very interesting.
It'd be a lifestyle. I don't know which one, but
Certainly not a brand. That's for sure.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll
I
save
think
that for another time.
we've always kind of like done paranormal stuff. And I always wanted to do more cryptids and like weird shit like that. But I was like, I don't know if it's like straying too far away from true crime, but people seem to like them. So it
No.
works out.
we do it.
And now we have so many episodes a week that we're like, we can do everything now.
Yeah. But I think it's good for everyone because I've always found if I have an episode that's really dark and heavy, I need something a little more fun and light to, to just kind of reset me. And if you look at the back episodes of my show, you'll kind of see when like I'm at a point where it's like, oh man, Jordan needs a break. 'Cause it's like this episode's about a talking parrot. The next one is about a UFO sighting where he interviews like an old fisherman. And, that's the sign that I needed a little time off.
Yeah. That's it. That's exactly us too. Like this is actually going to be following up, I think, Gerard Schaefer
And the Club Kid murder.
and the Club Kid murders, which are
Okay.
two gnarly cases, like very
Okay.
dark, very, very dark.
yeah.
So this is kind of a perfect little palate cleanser to zoom right into
Yeah.
something else horrible.
yeah.
This will be like a hug with someone going, it's all right. It's going
Yeah.
to be all right.
Yeah, exactly. Someone saying,
That's-
just look at the Bigfoot over there.
Check it out.
Just be one with the Bigfoot over there.
That said, though, some of these stories are freaky. So I think some
They are.
people may question reality and their safety when in the woods after listening to this.
Very
Definitely.
true. Which we're always ones to be like, don't go in the woods. Just stay out here. So
Yeah.
Stay
Well,
where it's light out.
yeah,
Did either of you grow up near the woods?
we
Like near
did
a forest
actually.
or-
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we're like right in the middle of the Bridgewater Triangle. So
Okay.
we're surrounded by like the Hockomock Swamp and like all this woodlands, and so it's always been around. Like my house growing up was completely surrounded by like a very long stretch of woods in every direction. So it's always freaked me out.
And we
Well,
grew
that's-
up going to like the Berkshires, which
Yeah.
is just all woods and mountains and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So was it like the woods that would be near your home or near your area when you grew up? Would this be kind of dangerous woods where you couldn't go too deep into it, but maybe you explored sometimes?
yeah.
I would say so.
The ones that behind the house me and Ma used to go on bear hunts.
Yeah.
Are you
I never
serious?
found a bear, but it was
Thank
kind of just
God.
like a fun thing to do when I was little.
Like,
Wow.
well, maybe we'll find a bear and die. That'll
Yeah,
be fun.
it'd be great.
When you say bear hunt, like were you prepared? Like did you just have a gun and stuff, or were you just like we're gonna? What would happen if you found a bear?
No, my
You know
grandma's
what?
like a hippie who like protested
Yeah.
the Vietnam War, so we didn't have any guns.
So she was just going to have like a quiet discussion with it, I think,
Just
if she ran
vibes.
into one.
We went
Just
out there
talk it down.
just loaded with vibes.
You just had like she had like a ukulele over her shoulder. You know what?
a flower
If you
crowd.
If you found a pair, Alaina and I would be probably here discussing your dark story.
That's very true. That is very
What
true.
were they doing looking for a bear?
Why were
must
they
have been
out there
nuts.
with a ukulele? The tragic ending of my mother and sister.
Those two
Wow.
beautiful people wandering into the woods to look
Yeah.
for a bear unarmed.
Simply with vibes.
Minus the very optimistic bear hunting, I had a similar kind of area growing up. I had like right behind my house was the forest, and the very beginnings of it is like where me and all my friends, would build cabins and explore and all that sort of stuff. But as it got deeper, there was a lot of kind of just mysterious sounds and odd things that went on in there. So I think I've always grown up with like a healthy fear, but also a healthy obsession and fascination with, the weird things that happen in the woods. I've always found they're like a magical place because you can really leave the world behind and go into the wild just by walking into the woods. And where I grew up in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, Canada, it's we don't have a lot of like, it would be rare to see a bear. Like what you would most likely encounter that would really be dangerous, other than a crazy person, would be like a
The
coyote
scariest
or
kind.
something. Yeah, the worst monsters. But we have like coyotes and stuff, but that'd be about as dangerous as it would get, I guess.
That's kind of here too. And that's what we would do. It was like the little, like the perimeter of the woods was always like, ooh, we're going to make like a witch's den and like, or like a witch altar for doing nothing when I was like 7. And we were like, oh, it's so spooky. But if you wandered a little further in, it was like, okay, we might die in here.
Yeah, there's some animals that could definitely like eat our leg.
It's a
They
healthy
will never
respect.
find us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A healthy
it's
respect
important.
for how scary it is. And that, like you said, I think it's so scary because the further you get in, the more untouched by humans it is. So you're like, what is out here? It's almost like the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
You're like, nothing can get down there. So like, what is down there? Like whatever's
Yeah.
down there needs to have adapted to being down there. And it's kind of like the further into the woods, it had to adapt to be farther into the woods. And what the hell is it?
Yeah, seriously. Actually, I heard someone. There was this thing where I can't remember where I heard this, but they were talking about like if they had 3 wishes, what they would wish for. And one of the wishes they said I really enjoyed. Their idea was just for a couple days to have the oceans and the ice caps around the world lifted up so they could kind of go down,
Yes.
at the bottom with a motorbike or whatever and just explore. And just
I
the
feel
idea
that.
of that would be amazing to do at the bottom of the ocean, like what you could find under there. And I just imagine finding some carving or something and being like, what the?
Oh, yeah,
carved in
right?
stone at the bottom.
Oh, it makes me crazy that we can't see the bottom of the ocean.
Maybe,
Makes me crazy.
Someday somebody will invent something and we'll be able to. I mean, I don't
something
want
to
but-
withstand that like insane pressure.
Yeah.
But even recently in Texas, I think it was that like because of all the droughts, because like global warming, and the like one of the lakes completely dried up, and there was dinosaur footprints going across the entire lake, like huge dinosaur, and people were just swimming in this lake with
No
huge,
idea.
massive dinosaur footprints underneath them, not knowing.
That's why I feel like have you ever gone swimming and you're just like you just get this like weird eerie sense of like, ooh, what is underneath me?
Yeah, I
Like,
have a huge.
I
issue
think
with
that's
that.
why. I think our bodies can sense that there's something.
Yep.
There are like hundreds of thousands of years of mystery just
Yes.
down there, waiting to be uncovered. And of course, as time passes and in cities and civilizations get kind of swallowed up on the ocean, they're going to leave some remnants under there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But getting back to the woods, that I've always loved stories set in the woods. Do either of you, like, I know we all brought a few stories to the table. Do either of you have a story that's set in the forest, since we're on the topic?
I have a couple. Actually, most of mine are in the woods.
Really?
And a couple of mine are.
Was that intentional?
No.
Yeah, it actually wasn't. I'm always drawn, though, to like weird woods things. That is always something that catches my interest when I see it.
Yeah, I was mostly just drawn to the names of mine, and
You
I
sure
think
were.
you two will also just lull along with me.
Ash was naming when she would find one and be like, oh, this is it.
I'd be like, I'm doing this simply because of what it's named.
Huh.
Hers are great.
That's a good way to do it. Just like, when you're think about back in like the 80s and 90s or whatever, when you're picking out a movie at the movie store, you just look at
yeah.
the cover and you're like,
Yeah.
that's an amazing cover.
I'm going to watch that.
Then you watch the worst movie ever and you're like, the cover wasn't even in the movie.
Like, what is this?
That
So let's
actress
find
didn't
out
even
what
come in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just drew you in.
Who wants to start with one of these? Let's get into this.
You gonna do it,
So
dude?
I'll start with something called the Dark Watchers. And these are found in California. So we don't have to worry about these.
Awesome.
but our brethren across the country do. So these are seen in the St. Lucia Mountains of California. They've been seen and reported for over 300 years.
Whoa.
I'm always astounded when it's like that far back that there's reports or any kind of witness sightings of these things, because I'm like, then what is it?
I'm also astounded that they've been seen that far back and I've never heard of them.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. So basically the St. Lucia Mountains go from Carmel to the Cayama River in St. Louis Obispo County. So anywhere along there, you could find yourself staring up at the mountains and seeing one of these guys.
Awesome.
I think you don't want to, but it's unclear. Like, no one's been like torn apart by one of these guys or something like that, but they're ominous.
But
So it just comes down to personal preference.
Pretty much.
if there's 300 years of reports, though, then a lot of people survived. I take my chances. I will see one.
Exactly.
There's 301 years.
I will not be the first to go. There are some little legends here and there, though, that say if you see one and it looks back at you and you like have a moment, that you could vanish.
Okay, so my personal preference is nah.
Like, it's just really what your risk level is. Like,
Right.
if you're just a risk taker, then give it a shot. Odds
you.
are that you're going to live to tell the tale.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
charge at it with a ukulele.
Yeah, exactly.
And your vibes.
We're here for a good time, not a long time. Let's go. Let's hang out with the Dark Watcher.
Let's do it.
So you're probably wondering what you're going to see when you look up
Sure
and see a
am.
Dark Watcher. And this will probably help you understand whether you want to like just have a moment with them or not. So sometimes you're going to see them in the afternoon, like late afternoon or the early twilight hours. That's when they really like to hang up there. You're going to be seeing a Dark Watcher if you suddenly have this like really uneasy feeling of being watched. And it's not one of those like, oh, I feel like there's somebody around. You're just like, okay, where is this person that's staring at me?
Ugh.
It's like a really intense feeling. And they say that people say they cannot ignore it once it starts. And when you look around for someone to blame it on, that's when you see them. They're going to be standing on the ridges overlooking California on the mountaintop. And they're super tall. Some say they can reach up to like 15 feet tall.
No, thank you.
Yeah, very tall, like very slender, kind of gangly, little Slender Man vibe.
I was just going to
if
say
you will.
that.
But they always wear all black. They're always wearing like black cloaks, which like made me think like Jack the Ripper-y because they also wear big hats.
Oh.
And I was
Oh.
like, ooh.
I kind of love how theatrical they sound, though.
Yeah, they make an entrance. That's what's nice about them is they don't just like blend into the background. They're wearing big wide brimmed hats too, like
Like
a
Children of the Corn-esque.
exactly, or like like a Supreme on American Horror Story Coven.
Way better.
Either one will do.
your
Malachi or a Supreme. They have no facial features that you can really see because you can't really get close to them. So it's just all blackness. And generally they're holding a stick of some sort. But again, it's all shadowy. So you can't tell if it's a stick, if it's like something worse.
A ukulele.
An umbrella, perhaps. Who knows? I don't know. I've never seen one. And they just stare at you. They just stare out over the mountains and they'll vibe with you in this like weird, terrifying way. And then again, if you try to approach them, you might vanish. But who knows? Because those people that vanish can't tell us. So I'm not sure. People think they might be otherworldly entities that are here to just stalk travelers, like just watch them, make sure they don't encroach on any of their business or their mountains. They don't know if they feel some kind of ownership over these mountain ranges. Who knows? But it's believed they have like super hearing and super sight. So if you talk shit while in the presence of one, even if they're standing up on a mountain ridge, they're probably going to hear you.
That's a power move.
That is a power move. So
Yeah.
don't do it. Don't talk shit about them if they're up there.
No.
I like this kind of story though, because this can go in so many different directions. Like
Yeah.
it could be, like a supernatural force that's up there watching people for any imaginable number of reasons. But it could also just be like a bizarre cult that lives in this mountain
Exactly.
range that keeps a distance because they want to see what you're doing, but they don't want you to know what they're up to.
Exactly.
I like the latter.
I like that too.
I love a cult moment.
And it could be that. Who knows? Because no one's really run into one. And honestly, it makes me think like a cult or like an actual humanoid person is responsible for this, because there's also like, and I was going to get to it later, but if you leave like a little, like an offering for them of anything like food or anything else, sometimes they'll leave flowers back.
Well, that's
for you.
lovely.
Yeah. But I'm like, are they alive flowers or dead flowers? Because that tells a different story, I feel like.
What if dead
Yeah.
flowers is just their love language? Everybody has a different one, okay?
Maybe.
And
But
they wear all black, so they're a bit macabre. They're like, oh, this is my love language.
Yeah, there
dead
you
flowers.
go. Goths. They're just goths.
It got just some random goths in the mountains.
just
It's got
tall
a bit of a.
goths.
I think the idea of them leaving like flowers and stuff, that's got a bit of like Blair Witch vibes to it.
Yeah.
But it kind of implies some kind of kindness, like whether
Right,
they
yeah.
were leaving something. Dead flowers or living flowers. I'd rather them be leaving something than following me, staring at me.
Exactly. And not leaving like my friend's eyeballs and tongue for me. Like that's at least
Your missing
a flower.
friend. Yeah,
at least it's a
exactly.
flower. I'll take that over that.
Well, and maybe that's why people vanish, because maybe they're so kind once you get up there that like you join the cult and you're just like, wow, these are my friends. Who knew?
There you go. And you've joined a cult.
Yeah.
That's how it happens.
It's that easy.
It's that
really
easy. You just leave them something, they leave you a flower, and you're like, I'm in.
All right.
I
I
am
do it.
in.
I think it's like maybe like a cult of like ecological activists. This is their way
Ooh.
of guarding the mountains. Maybe they're leaving you a little offering. If they're ecological kind of activists, it would kind of leaving maybe local flowers from the area would be
Ooh.
something of value. And I think they're hiding out, all dressed in black, wearing the same outfits, to kind of just to create a look of unity among the cultists. That's what I think is happening.
We've cracked the
I was
case.
just gonna say, did we just figure this out? I think Jordan just figured it out.
Yeah, so everyone can move on.
Yeah. They're just a
well,
bunch.
I think the mystery in the question is it a cult or is it like a family who for generations have felt a need to guard the mountains, and each child is grown up to serve the job as a watcher?
Very wrong turn.
We're gonna write fanfic about this cryptid.
I think we are already.
We are in the middle of the first book.
Oh,
of
yeah.
fanfic. Because this is amazing. I just love the idea of a family of tall goths that just like love the mountain and want to keep it. I love that.
That's very pure.
I'm into it.
maybe I want to work on a short story where one of them decide to leave the family and go down the mountain into the city, shedding the black cloak.
Shedding it.
Ooh, this is beautiful, you
I
guys.
love
See what
this.
happens when we put our heads together?
And
Yeah,
and they enroll in a high school and they meet
Yes.
the other goths, which just is like a natural fit.
But they're a different kind of goths, so it's
Well,
hard.
one
at
of them's
first.
actually a vampire.
Oh, there you go.
This is such fanfic. I
We've
love
got
it.
this. I think we should just end the episode here and go write some
Yeah,
fanfic,
we
everybody.
got some
We gotta
stuff
bring
to
this
do.
to Tumblr,
Yeah,
y'all.
we're busy. Let's get some deviant art up in here about this. Let's go.
Yeah, no, I think we got it. I don't know. I think we solved the mystery, and we will bring the mystery forward in a series of fanfic that we'll publish on Tumblr.
There we go.
Love.
I love it. I love this.
I got a story set in the woods for you.
Ooh.
In the Canadian woods too. So we're gonna head north a bit from where yours was set.
The best kind of woods.
I've always loved Bigfoot and Sasquatch stories.
Me too.
I know people will roll their eyes when they hear those words, Bigfoot and Sasquatch, because it's kind of like a bit of a cliche, these kind of stories, but sometimes they have evidence. And I'm going to combine sort of two stories that are both ones I covered on Nighttime. They're not well-known Canadian Bigfoot Sasquatch stories, but people who are into that scene in Canada would probably be familiar with both of these. The reason I'm deciding to kind of tell the two is you had just talked about the story of the Watchers having like a 300-year history. One thing I often do on my show is I'll just put a call out to my listeners. You know, if you've had something strange happen to you or a bizarre story, let me know, and we'll talk about it. One of the episodes that came out of a response to that call out was this guy wrote me from Nova Scotia, from Pictou is an area of Nova Scotia, and he said, it sounds silly, but I actually saw a Sasquatch when I was in high school. And his story was him and his high school running team were doing these things called hill sprints, which is basically the track team would go into the woods with their coach and would just run up hills and then run down hills as
That sounds
torture.
so fun.
Which is
Really?
torture.
That sounds great.
well, if energy wasn't a thing that depleted in your body, it would maybe be fun because you'd be grabbing the bushes and the twigs and pulling yourself up the hill. But in this guy's story, he told me that during these hill sprints, many members of the track team, including the coach, who is one of the teachers, saw what they believed to be a Sasquatch. And I said, yeah, since there's a bunch of people like in on the story that saw it, like, you know, that's reputable, I'll cover it. So I had him on my show and he told the story. But what was really interesting is we did the episode. I was about to publish it. And one of the last things that happened was I was writing online that I was doing a story about a Bigfoot sighting in Pictou, and one of my other listeners was trying to help me do a bit of research by looking for other stories in the area. And what they ended up stumbling upon was a newspaper article set in the same town. It's a defunct newspaper that doesn't exist anymore, that described like an almost identical situation as the guy I talked to described, having happened about 100 years earlier. In the article referenced prior events happening in that same area with an unidentified beast in the woods. And so immediately it went from this fun little story to like, whoa, like this town has, you know, a long history.
Thing. Something's happening here.
His actual story was simply that they were running up the hill, and as they were doing these hill sprints, something just kind of came out of the bush. They couldn't get a look at it because it was just kind of like a dark presence within this bush, and screamed at them, and they continued to run up the hill.
Screamed at them?
Yeah, just like, rah! But,
maybe he was trying to sleep and they were causing a ruckus.
Running up their hill, yeah. But I think in that particular story, what really hit me was just this history. But anyway, that was just like kind of a sidebar to the story I actually want to tell you about.
So this has legs. Story.
I think what this is going to show you is that Canada has Bigfoot, a Bigfoot presence. The
Not
story,
a problem, a presence.
Maybe a problem.
Is it a problem? I always want to think.
You'll be the judge in a minute, because this is a sighting that has evidence, and the evidence is quite chilling.
So I always want to think of Bigfoots as like these sweet, kind gentlemen.
We were just talking about it before we signed on. We were like, why is everybody so mad at Bigfoot? And I guess we're about to find out.
Oh, man.
Okay, so imagine this. There's a fella named Gino Mikas. It's the evening of October 3rd, 2019. He's in northwestern Ontario, very remote forest. He's actually hunting. He's about 50 kilometers from the nearest community. So we're talking like the absolute middle of nowhere. And Gino is a lifelong hunter, very comfortable in the woods. He considered himself, when I spoke to him, he says, I consider myself a tracker. I can see, footprints and follow the animals. Like he's that level of hunter. And he's in the woods with his wife and his young grandchild. I believe a 2-year-old was with them. And which is, that's a choice when you're going hunting, but these are
That's exactly what I was just thinking. And I almost said
the words exactly. I was like, that's a choice.
Yeah, but these are like lifelong hunters from a community and like a culture of lifelong hunters. So he's out there, and they go throughout the day. I believe he told me they were hunting for grouse, which I may be pronouncing wrong, but it's a type of bird. But regardless, they're wrapping up their hunting for the day, and they're traveling back to their vehicle. And that's kind of when this video/audio I'm going to play you takes place. As they're walking back, he told me they could smell something really obscene, something that stood out as very stinky. That was the first sign.
One of those too.
We did.
Yeah, that was the first sign something weird was happening. The next is complete silence in the woods. No more birds chirping or whatever you would hear. No more anything. Just complete silence. And then what he starts to hear is the sound of something unlike anything he's ever heard before. Screaming or crying out or just simply roaring. Again, I back this story up a lot by describing how comfortable and confident and experienced he is in the woods. He's like, this is unlike anything I've ever heard.
I'm so stressed.
As such, he hits record on his phone, and this is what he records. And now you tell
Jordan,
me,
I'm so scared.
Literally,
Jordan,
like,
I'm terrified.
you tell me if this is anything other than a GD Sasquatch. That's his grandchild.
Him is so mad.
oh, same little dude, same. Okay.
That is on some Tarzan shit.
I keep
chilling.
picturing this giant Bigfoot like stubbing his toe.
Oh!
That's literally the sound that I think John makes every time he stubs his toe. That really broke the tension because I was like feeling some type of way just then. That is horrifying. That is nightmare.
And the poor little baby with them.
He was so stressed.
Oh.
Yeah, and yeah, the baby just makes a weird sound. The Gino is like, "Shh," and you're whatever it is, it sounds vicious. And when this
guttural.
yeah, and this he published a video of it on his YouTube channel. And the video is just like the camera pointed towards the trees, but you can you can hear it. In the video, I guess you would say it went viral. It had like millions of views, and which got the attention of like a lot of experts with different types of animals. And there's been no consensus of what he saw. Some people believe it may have been a bear that was hurt and dying. And that's kind of one idea. I guess when bears are injured and dying, they'll do this kind of death roar. And some people believe that's what he was hearing, or possibly an injured wolf or coyote. But experts have also said, like, no, it certainly isn't that. But one thing I do know for sure is it's a genuine video and a genuine sound without any kind of editing or anything. If you look at this guy's channel, he had a YouTube video or YouTube channel for years where it's mainly him playing electric guitar in his bedroom. And then all of a sudden there's this.
And it just sounds authentic.
Yeah, because you can tell like whatever it is like in the distance. You know?
And that everybody's reacting to it organically.
Especially the baby.
Yeah, like you could tell it was like upsetting the baby.
It's upset me. And then to be 50 kilometers from the nearest community, it's like if this thing wants to eat you, there's very little you're going to be able to do about it.
I want to believe they don't want to. I think he just stubbed his toe. That's why he was so mad. He stubbed his toe on the corner of his bed, and that was it.
I kind of feel like his Bigfoot wife left him. He found out she was stepping out, and that was just a cry of anguish.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah, it's more of a like,
sobbing. Right? Like he's almost saying no.
And they're such misunderstood beasts. Everyone thinks they're so violent, but they can't change it. So even if they're a nice animal who's feeling like a sincere emotion, they can't help but be like, rah!
Yeah, because they just have those lungs, man. They can't help it.
They are who they are.
They are who they are.
Yeah, it's like when you see, like a big leopard or tiger. Like if you look at them from a distance, they just look like a regular cat. But then when you get a bit closer, you're like, ooh, that thing would mess me up.
Yeah, like you would kill me so
easily.
Oh my God, that sound.
Wow.
It's going to be in my... That's going to be like the sounds of the black hole that John made me listen to.
Yeah.
Just haunting my dreams.
Alaina made me listen to it.
I checked that out. Yeah.
It's
very cool. It sounds like a synthesizer.
It does. It sounds like somebody made it. But I'm like, that's just space. That's just when you get sucked into oblivion.
Personally, I don't think we're supposed to be listening to that. I think it's cursed material.
Sound.
Yeah, seriously. Like you find it's kind of like when you find an old book in like the basement of the cottage you're renting, and you end up in an Evil Dead situation.
Exactly.
I think listening to the sound of a black hole is probably like the space equivalent of that.
Probably.
No good's gonna come of it.
Because they had to like raise that frequency up a ton. Like we're not even supposed to hear that.
Yeah,
So-
there's literally a reason. I know it.
Yeah. If you mess with like frequencies and stuff in audio, you're asking to open up a portal or hear the voice of a ghost, and it's
100%.
it's not worth it.
It's not worth it, but we're all like, sounds cool though.
Let me hear that.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, I will talk to you after you do it.
There
on
you
the
go.
podcast.
Yeah. You do it. I'll talk to you about it.
For real.
Yeah.
All right, guys, are you ready for me to lighten things up with the white thang?
Fang?
Literally
Thang. Have you ever seen Mean Girls, Jordan?
No, but describing it as the white thang, I think I'm excited for whatever this is.
I'm stoked because immediately there's this line in Mean Girls where this very creepy boy is like, "I'd rather see you up there shaking that thang," and then his friend is like, "Did you just say thang?" And the first thing we thought, all I could think of, and I was like, "I am doing this."
The white thang.
The white thang.
It's actually a purse.
We got very like American named things.
Mine are so America, it hurts.
It's so America.
So the white thang is from Alabama, and personally, I would like to see the white thang try out for Bama Rush.
There you go.
Have you seen any of like the Bama Rush stuff going on TikTok, Jordan?
I'm sure yes.
I feel like the answer is no.
Tick what?
Yeah.
No, I don't go on TikTok.
Oh, TikTok is great. It gets personalized like for your taste.
And that's exactly why I don't go on it, because it's like it would immediately start showing me like someone steam cleaning a rug, and I'd just be like transfixed.
Yep.
Yes.
It'd be 3 in the morning, and they'd be pressure washing their deck, and I could,
Oh my God.
I do get those videos, and they're so satisfying.
I love that.
Exactly.
But
and that's why I can't go on them, because it can go right into my soul and be like,
Yep.
Jordan, you cannot look away from this. You're staying up late tonight, like it or not.
Yep. It's
It's
true.
a dirty rug.
It's very detrimental.
dirty rug. All right, well, we'll move on from TikTok, and I'll tell you that most sightings of the Alabama white fang occur in this triangle between Morgan, Etowah, and Jefferson counties. And people have reported sightings in Walnut Grove, Moody's Chapel, Happy Hollow, and Wheeler Wildlife Refuge, just to name a few.
Okay.
So, several accounts describe the white thang as being 7 to 8 feet tall, covered in this really thick white hair, like almost like a yeti. And other descriptions of the famous creature paint a picture that sounds a little bit more like a lion, a white lion, because sometimes it will walk on all fours, and then other times you'll see it upright. But among some of the more strange descriptions reported, one I was just like, that's the weirdest of all. It's a tall white creature standing roughly 7 feet tall and resembling a kangaroo with the head of a cat.
Oh my, I did not picture that.
Yeah.
That was not what was in my head.
And on top of that, so it's massive. Perhaps it looks like a kangaroo, perhaps a cat,
And
perhaps a
kangaroos
yeti.
are like jacked.
Yeah, kangaroo
Like,
jack.
Kangaroos are really scary.
They are. They will kick you in the face, so
Yeah.
be careful. And I think this thing might too, because it's pretty agile. It's like super, super fast. It can run at you. It can run away from you. It can run wherever it wants.
Here, there, everywhere.
Yes, so, yeah. And many people say that there's two differing variations on what it sounds like when it makes a noise. Some people feel like it is a woman screaming, and other people think it sounds more like a panther.
Oh.
Now, he's pretty stinky. He's said to smell like dead animals, and if he's around, you are sure to smell him. And if you spot him, you're going to know because, first of all, you'll smell him coming. And second of all, you will see his glowing red eyes.
Ooh.
So creepy.
Ooh.
Now, his legend dates all the way back to the 40s. And here's one experience that I found from Old Man George Norris.
I'm obsessed with this already.
So somebody reports that Old Man George Norris seen it over there in the graveyard. And he said it looked like a lion, you know, bushy, betwixt a dog and a lion. It was white and slick with long hair. It had a slick tail down on the end of the tail of a big old bush of hair. He leant up against a tree and fell asleep. And when he woke up, the sun was just rising, and the white thang was lying right beside him. It was looking at him. He said it didn't offer to hurt him or nothing. He just wanted to snuggle.
Well, that's nice.
Wow.
I think he might just be a stinky, huge beast with glowing red eyes that simply wants to snuggle.
I also love that it said it didn't offer to hurt him. Like, do people often offer? Like,
You want me to hurt you?
do you want me to hurt you? Like,
Well, the white
Wow.
thing will not offer to hurt you. You heard it here first.
white thing.
I guess it's good that it offers.
It's I mean, there you go.
So random.
It just wants
Uh,
to spoon.
Well, I'm trying to, like, this Old Man Norris, or whatever the name was. I wonder if thang like that word is coming from his manner of speech.
Yeah.
But like over there, the way he was talking.
Right.
But I feel like Thang is still out of place.
Yeah.
I think they need to rebrand this beast.
No.
don't
Why,
know.
Do
Jordan?
you like it? Well, it does stand
Why,
out.
Jordan?
Would you have picked this story if it was the white thing?
No.
No,
There-
that's
It was
true.
the
Maybe
thing
it's-
for me.
Maybe it's smart marketing.
I think it is.
I think that could be what it comes down to. And it probably is because it was hard to find anything about this because I had to dig through many web pages of like plush toys and trading cards and like all this merch for the White Fang.
Like actually merch related to this animal or this?
Yeah, you can literally get a plushie of the White Fang.
It's like the Flatlands monster.
I'll send you one.
Wow.
You can have your very own White Fang.
White thing, and it could just lay next to me. And,
Yeah.
and not even
and not
offer
offer
to hurt me.
to hurt you.
Yeah, you
And if
don't
it
have
does
to worry about
offer, I can choose if I want to be hurt or not.
Choose your own adventure.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's this story though. It's this man waking up with it in bed with him. He describes it as like it doesn't sound like a wild animal because he's like, did he not say its hair was all slicked back and like it seems like this thing like did itself up before it got
Yeah.
in bed. This white thing got all
This
dressed
white
up
thing.
and
That's
climbed
what
in
I'm
bed with him.
saying. I think he was looking for a fella.
He got
Sounds
his
like a
mojo
fella.
back and he was ready to try it out.
Well, you know, old man George Norris didn't seem to be too scared because he just leant up next to a tree and fell asleep.
Yeah.
So
You know,
and he
this could-
clearly wasn't threatened by this 7-foot tall stanky creature.
yeah, that guy needs a podcast.
He does.
He does.
I don't
Where
know
are you?
if he's still alive anymore.
Are you
but
out here, old man? I know. When was that? When he was old man then?
If
closer
he's
to the
listening.
40s?
Probably not.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's not up for hosting a podcast.
He
Rip.
died.
but
Maybe then
sadly
beyond.
they didn't. Yeah, maybe. Well, we can do a séance. Maybe
There you
that's
go.
disrespectful. But we should like someone like that. That's they had radio and stuff back then. Someone should have interviewed this guy. If someone in my town had a story like that, no matter what
You'd be
year
on
it
it.
is, if that stuff exists, if I was a reporter with a pen and paper or someone with a microphone, I would interview this guy and archive
Absolutely.
that story for the ages.
Oh, yeah. You never let the
'Cause
white
it's-
thing just be lost to history.
Yeah. Or well, and I guess it isn't lost to history if there's all this reference to it online, but the true story is certainly obscured by the passage of time. But I would
Yeah,
like
it's
to know more
lost.
about this.
Lost in translation. So we'll never know if he was
And-
looking for a cuddle or to kill.
Who's to
or
say?
both. But and
Or
then as
both.
far as what it actually looks like. So the first description was between a kangaroo with a cat's head.
Yep.
Which is kind of nuts because I guess
Wild.
a kangaroo kind of has a horse's head, so that'd be a weird looking
Yeah.
kangaroo.
Yeah.
And then old man Norris said it was betwixt a dog and
A lion.
a lion. Okay, so that's
Okay.
Which is cat-like. And maybe the lower half of a kangaroo could be somewhat dog-like.
Like a dog, like a really jacked dog standing on its hind legs.
We also have to think that this was old man Norris, so
Who then took a nap next to a tree when he first saw it. So
may not have had the best sight or choice-making
yeah.
skills.
who knows?
and this probably wasn't the first wild tale he told.
Probably
yeah,
not.
no, he's got pockets full of wild tales. I know it, but
He
yeah.
probably he leaves the house and he ends up seeing some white thing.
Oh, for sure.
he certainly does.
I thank him for the white thing.
I love Old Man Norris. Pour one out for Old Man Norris.
Seriously.
Oh, I love the ones that you picked so much. Every time we get to you is going to be a delight.
You're welcome.
So my next one is not as hilarious or cute as that. It does have a funny little element to
It
it.
makes sense though. We're on brand right now.
We are. This is called the Banshee of the Badlands.
Yeah, that's so on brand for you.
So this is found in South Dakota, where the Badlands is like this very craggy, dehydrated stretch of land. It's been described as hell with the fires out. So
Oh, that's nice.
that gives
Wonderful.
paint you a picture. It's desolate, outrageously hot, but it can also get crazy cold at night. It's
Ooh.
one of those places that has like the worst of both. It can get well over 100 degrees out there, and there's basically zero sources of hydration. So
Great.
there's really nothing for us out there. But apparently, there's also actually smoke that just rises up from beneath the ground, and there's no real reason for it. Like there's the possibility that some like hellish underworld is right like beneath your feet there, but I think it's just like coal veins that are still smoldering underground probably.
I could see that.
But it really adds to the
ambiance.
aesthetic out there. And there's this place out there called Watchdog Butte, which even locals apparently have a tough time pointing out or finding. It's like this very ominous just place that they know exists. And on Watchdog Butte, there is a straight up banshee. She just hangs out there on the hill and just flails around looking terrifying, like just stands up there flailing her arms.
Like a car wash guy?
Like the wacky inflatable arm man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At car set, I don't see car wash. I see those
Yeah.
at like when they're selling cars.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's like
you're right.
It goes down and up. That's what she's doing all the time.
Wow.
And she has flowing fabric, so she's very theatrical.
Very Stevie Nicks.
Very Stevie. It's just Stevie Nicks up there on the
be. If you told me Stevie Nicks was a banshee, I'd be like, probably.
That makes
Probably.
sense.
But if you happen to be camping down in the canyon, which I'm not sure why you would, but if you are, because people do those things, she's going to come get you.
Somebody.
So there's going to be a problem. Now, banshees, in case you were wondering, are like a fairy type creature from Irish folklore. It's not a welcome sight. You don't want to see a banshee.
It's like a curse, right?
Because not only are they terrifying and loud as fuck, which would be my problem with it. I hate overstimulating sounds. It freaks me out. But when you witness their screams, it's really an omen of death. So it's saying that you're either going to die or someone in your family or someone close to you is going to die. So if you see one, that's like bad news bears. But no one is quite sure of her origin. But she is a woman who everyone agrees was probably brutally murdered, because how else do you become a banshee, I suppose?
Truth.
There's all these stories and legends that she was this young woman who was pushed off the top of the cliffs and into the canyons.
Oh, and maybe that's why she's flailing.
Yeah, because she's scared. She's like, ooh,
Or she's
trying
like
to
still
balance.
tumbling in oblivion, you
Just
know?
always, just a loop.
Oh, that's
Which
freaky.
now she's mad. Which can we blame her?
No, absolutely not.
Resounding no. If she's angry, she has a right.
She's angry. We all are.
We all
stand
are.
together.
We are with her. Now, apparently, she will run at a traveler who is passing through with her arms flailing. So she's going to run down that hill at you, arms flailing.
She's running up that hill.
Yes, that's perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Literally wearing the shirt. But yeah, she's going to run at you. She's not screaming yet. She's just going to run at you, arms flailing, flowing fabric everywhere. The perfect picture of a banshee in your mind. When you walk towards her, which, like, I don't know why you would, but if you do, if you walk towards her, she's going to become eerily quiet and very calm.
No.
And she's just going to stand there and stare at you.
No.
You're going to ask her what's wrong. I wouldn't, but like if you do, if you ask her what's wrong, don't do that. Because then she's going to stare at you for a minute. And then out of nowhere, her jaw is going to unhinge. Her eyes are going to roll back and turn black. And she will just scream at you.
This theatrical bitch.
Yeah.
She rolls her eyes into the back of her head just to mess with you.
turns it black. And her jaw unhinges and she just wails at you.
I love her.
Overstimulation for me. I would have cardiac arrest immediately. Like that would just be it.
She's letting the trauma out of her nervous system. I love it. I love it.
Well, it sounds like the human embodiment of like rage and chaos and panic. Like this banshees freak me out. The idea of just stumbling upon someone who is just like fingernails and teeth and squealing and screaming
and just so angry.
The idea of her just dropping to completely calm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be the scariest. To be like, well, what the hell is about to happen?
Because you're like, what's about to happen? And then the jaw unhinges and you're like, oh, that's about to happen.
Yeah.
I want to be a banshee in my next life. I think I'm feeling inspired right now.
I'm feeling good about it. It also kind of makes me think of like a wraith. Like a wraith is a really like angry, raging spirit. So I'm wondering if they just like labeled her a banshee and she's actually just a wraith.
Yeah, because banshees are usually on the water, right?
They are. They're on the water a lot. And they're like, I don't know if I just don't see one out in the Badlands, but I suppose, like, you know, who am I to say?
I mean, Banshee
I haven't documented all of them, but
I think one thing that'll separate a banshee from other things of that nature, I think the banshee, the idea is that it's always freaking out, going completely wild. So it's
like
a wraith. I
like
think
a
it'd be
banshee.
a bit more like ghostly, where a banshee would just be squealing, high pitched, losing their mind at you, where you would immediately panic if you saw someone in that state.
Oh, yeah.
So I like
brings you there.
the idea that, maybe she was falling and she was kind of stuck in that would make sense because she'd just be flailing and flipping out.
Yeah,
Right.
it makes sense. But all of this is really terrifying. Like, she sounds terrifying. There's no good here. But there is a part that's kind of funny in a way.
Okay.
Like a little bit of funny. So she doesn't come alone, everybody. This isn't just, she's not by herself. She has a pal. She has a pal, and her pal is a skeleton that just walks next to her. And if he,
This is iconic. This is epic news.
and if it gets even better. So he's just a skeleton. And when he hears music, presumably good music, he will just bust out a fiddle of his own and play you into a trance.
Whoa.
It reminds me of that song that you used to freaking love, like The Devil Came Back.
Oh yeah, that was because it was from Coyote Ugly.
Yeah,
and you used to watch that all the time.
I love that movie.
So you see, full circle. But he loves music, and he'll sometimes also. So like, there's that. He'll play you into a trance, and that's bad. We'll get to that in a second. But sometimes he just loves music so much that he'll like kind of separate from her for a little bit. And if he hears it in your camp, he'll come and just sit outside of your camp and listen to your music, especially if you're playing good old-timey cowboy music. He loves that. And you'll just hear rattling bones in the woods. And it's just him like grooving in the woods to your music. I'm getting like, whoa, listen to the music. There you go.
He's living.
He's living.
He's not, though, because he's a skeleton.
And this is very true. Now, it sounds great. Like, he's just dancing. But here's the rub. If he decides he wants to play music with you, like if he's dancing out there and he's like, I have to get into this, I'm feeling it, and he starts playing any music, you cannot listen to it. You have to stop listening to it, like in Hocus Pocus, when the townspeople throw down the spell book on the ground because they're singing.
Yep.
And they have to cover their ears. You have to do that, because if he decides to bop along with his jaunty tune with you, you're toast. He will, because as the sun rises, he'll walk your entranced ass into a canyon.
You just groove into the canyon.
And he will rip you limb from limb. So
That got so dark so fast. It's like he might come and have a little jam band with you, and then he will rip you limb from limb.
it's different from the Watchers there, where like you're gonna take that risk of like just vibing with them for a second, because I don't see anything really bad happening. This one, I don't think you want to take that.
Well, this sounds like they would get up and close, where the Watcher, I picture like you just kind of seeing them up on the mountaintop looking down the ridge at you, where this seems like, the Banshee's running towards you, squealing, waving her arms, hair and fabric everywhere, with a skeleton playing a fiddle. And what we haven't talked about in this story is chances are, why would his fiddle be in tune? And I don't think it would be. And the idea of just someone playing this super out of tune fiddle.
I didn't even think of that.
And, the bow sucks. So it's just a scratching out of tune mess, and it's dancing, and she's screaming and running at you. You'd be like, what the hell?
That is my nightmare, because again, that would be so much overstimulation of sound for me, and just like fucked up sounds.
Adding to the fanfic, I feel like the bow would just be his femur.
Oh,
right?
Not his femur.
Someone
else's femur.
Yeah.
That's why he rips you limb from limb.
It would be
'cause
your femur.
He needs a new bow every now and again.
He sure does.
Yeah.
Or like
and
a
it's
tendon stretched on a femur.
Gross.
Snap
It's
a
just
little.
still rotting and like, oh man. And all you can hear is just his out of tune fiddle. That's, I don't like
and
this
the
story.
lump of flesh that hits it every now and again, you know?
Yeah, but he loves it, and he's dancing
He
to it.
loves it.
And you can only hear it above her scream.
Yep.
The Banshees flip. Why are these two together though?
That's what I want to know. I was wondering that too. I couldn't find anything that said why they hang out together. Maybe they just, I wonder if they were separate and they were kind of living their own things.
They just found each other.
And maybe one day he was just like fiddling over in the corner somewhere, and he saw her like launch down the ridge at someone, and he was like, that's my kind of woman.
Maybe he
I
thought
need
she'd
to hang out with her.
like a good screamo partner.
Yeah,
he
he was like,
screams so loud.
she can add vocals.
Yeah.
Ooh, is she singing? If his out of tune fiddle that he's playing with like a human femur, maybe that's her way of singing.
Yeah,
and
she
dancing.
thinks she's singing.
Yeah, it's
This
like
is
opera.
the worst band.
The worst. The actual worst.
I love it.
You're like, I don't know. I'm gonna
into
join.
it.
Well, there's a lot of layers to it. I think it's a really cool like kind of fable or tale or whatever. But how how it came to, like, what would be interesting, honestly, if you could trace back the history of the story to see like where it came from, because most of these kind of stories of cryptids or fables or legends or whatever, they have like a beginning or an origin that makes sense, but this one I can't possibly imagine what it is. Oftentimes it's like a lot of these stories come from either the parents or the adults in the community or the church trying to scare kids into out of doing blank. But whoever, like, let's say if this is to scare kids from going into the woods alone at night, whoever came up with this has an amazing imagination.
They do.
Because they just tacked on a skeleton.
Yeah, you can't go into the woods tonight, kids. Why not? Well,
well, let me
sit down.
Let me tell you about this duo that you might run into.
I actually have like a stay out of the woods cautionary tale, but I think yours is much better.
I feel the skeleton really, like, I dig him.
Completes it.
Yeah, he really does.
I have a story that it's going to be a step away from this story. I cannot possibly think of a segue out of what we just talked about.
No, there isn't
into
one.
this.
I'm good with that.
This is a story that, like, I think a lot of modern kind of myths and legends and fables, they kind of take a different shape nowadays. It's often like, I think some missing persons cases kind of are told like a modern kind of fable when you really get down to it. But a lot of UFO sightings and stories do. Canada, for whatever reason, maybe because we have a lot of land area that doesn't contain like major cities, so you really get a good look at the sky from a lot of parts of Canada. UFO stories are quite a thing here. So before I tell you one, and I'll tell you Canada's most famous UFO story, before I do though, are either of you believers in extraterrestrial life or the idea that UFOs come here?
Yes, absolutely. I think I'm an alien.
That makes some sense.
There's that. I feel like I can kind of say that. I believe there's something, I just don't know or understand what it is.
I think there just has to be. Like, it's a crazy thought that we're the only people here.
Yeah, or in here as in like the galaxy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Why would we be so lucky that we are the only living things on a planet full of living things? So
Right,
what makes this place so amazing? It's just, that I think it would be more amazing that there wouldn't be life off of our planet than there being. It's just a matter of, I think how close it is to Earth, as well as close in proximity, but also in terms of time. So like maybe there was this incredible civilization, but we're just, 500 million years too late to witness it. So there needs to be within the proximity of us, but also within the same time, we need to have, the question there is like, is there life within the same proximity and time as us? But if there is, I think it may have visited, and I don't want you to laugh, there's a place in Nova Scotia, probably a 3-hour drive from where I live, and it's called Shag Harbor. You ever heard of it?
Oh, I'm not mad at that. I have heard of that.
You have heard of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it.
Whenever like this story gets brought up, usually the first thing is Shag Harbor.
Shag Harbor.
And you can imagine where it goes.
That was a good one.
In the United States or anywhere in the world, when you think of famous UFO stories that the government are investigating, usually you think of like Roswell, New Mexico is probably the big one. In Shag Harbor, Nova Scotia, Canada, a small fishing community, a UFO sighting happened on October 4th, 1967, that most people would call it Canada's Roswell. Like if you Google Canada's Roswell, this is what's going to come up. It's an amazing story, both because the amount of witnesses, like it's not something where, two guys out in the woods see a weird light. This is like an entire community sees it.
Oh, I love these.
They respond to it. The police investigate, the Canadian Coast Guard investigates, the Navy investigates, and where Canada has a pretty open system for access to information, you can see like, through the documents from the time how seriously this was taken by all these different parties. I'll tell you what happened. The best way to follow the story is by following along with the first person who reports it. And when I say the first person, this is something that multiple people called what at the time would have been the equivalent of 911 to report an emergency. So the main story can be told by following this guy named Laurie Wickens. He was, I think, about 19 at the time. Again, we're back in 1967. He was a fisherman. He's in his vehicle with 3 other friends, and they're leaving a dance, like a small dance in the community. And Shag Harbor is very remote. It's pretty much 1 or 2 roads, both that follow the coastline. And it's a fishing community. Pretty much everyone in this community either works as fishermen or works in a trade that would kind of collaborate with fisher people. But anyway, they're driving home from the dance. It's a little after 11 o'clock at night, obviously pitch black. As they're driving home, they see what's described as like a triangular shape in the sky. So 3 lights on each point of the triangle, forming a triangular shape. And it's kind of flying alongside them up above the tree line. And they think like, it's weird that there's, a large jet flying above the tree line in the middle of nowhere tonight. And, they notice it, assuming it's an airplane flying very low. And as the road kind of twists and turns and the tree line changes along with that, they will lose sight of it and then regain sight of it as they get the right vantage point. But eventually what happens over the period of like 5 minutes of driving alongside this thing, they see it pass over the road that they're driving on very high above them, and they still can't see exactly what it is, but are assuming it's a plane. They watch it pass the road, like go over the road they're driving along, and they watch it slowly descend into the water of Shag Harbor, which is on the left side of their vehicle. And when I say descend, like they hear a whoosh and a large crashing, splashing sound.
I feel like I just saw a plane crash. That sucks.
and that's exactly what they said. They stopped the car for a second to be like, whoa, like did we just see a plane crash? And they see about I think they describe it as being about 1,000 feet from the shore. So a good distance out, they see lights in the water. They don't hear anything, but what they believe they see is like the plane slowly sinking down into the water. So they get back in the car, they travel up the road a little bit to a gas station where they call like first responders. It wasn't 911 at the time. We didn't have that system, but it was basically like phoning police. The police tell them, we're going to send someone out right away. Go back to the shore, and, if anyone needs help them. So Laurie and his crew travel back to the shore, get out of their car, still seeing this light. Other people begin coming out of their houses because other people have seen this and heard it. So people in the area start showing up. Multiple people are calling the emergency line. And what eventually happens is a group of the fishermen who are meeting at the water, and this is all within the period of like 20 minutes, they get on a fishing boat to go out to the light, assuming that they're going to go out and find people splashing in the water, fighting for their lives if they survive the plane crash. By the time they get out there, the light has slowly been dimming. By the time they get out, they cannot see the light. Instead, what they find is like this thick, green, sulfuric smelling foam. And they described it as, and Laurie was one of the people on the boat, and I talked to him a few times about this. He described it as being thick, almost like melted marshmallows or something. He said I could put my hand down and like scoop it up. And it wasn't, people will hear that and think, maybe it was sea foam, which is a common thing. But this is like a group of lifelong fishermen who parents were fishermen. They're like, this was not sea foam. This was something unique.
And it's like thick.
Yeah.
And smells like sulfur. So I don't know what that could be. But they realize there's no one to save out there. They go back to shore. First official people on the scene is the Canadian Coast Guard, who sends out a boat with like bright lights and stuff, looking for any kind of, floating pieces of plane. They find nothing. It's too dark for divers, so they suspend the search until the next morning, when Navy divers go down, assuming they're going to find, again, a sunken airplane, because everybody at this point has reported it as a plane crashing. They find nothing. The Canadian government eventually determines that nothing landed in the water, no plane was missing, despite, this whole community kind of witnessing something. To this day, it's changed from a plane crash to some kind of unidentified flying object that landed in the water. And to this day, actually 1 month from now, is an annual UFO convention that they hold there, where all of the witnesses once a year will get up on stage in like the local community hall and tell their story of what they saw.
Oh my God, I
that's
want to
so
go.
cool. I want to go to that. That sounds amazing.
It would be. And I went to it a few times, and it's everybody, again, this happened in 67. So all the witnesses are kind of like Old Man Norris from your prior story.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So it's just a string of people like that who are like, I saw it. I was on my deck, or I was, whatever. And what's interesting, the last thing I'll say about the story is hearing just about what happened to Shag Harbor. What happened in Shag Harbor is only one part of the story. People who've been investigating this and trying to understand what have happened have found other reports of strange objects in the sky that same night that are very credible. One was a report from two pilots of an Air Canada plane, like commercial plane, who was I think about 2 or 3 hours away from Shag Harbor, who reported through official means a strange object in the sky alongside the airplane. They thought it was another airplane, but it turned out it wasn't, and it was traveling towards Shag Harbor. So kind of the narrative that forms is this idea of and when you kind of put all the sightings and reports together, it tells the story of like a strange object flying across Canada, landing in the waters of Shag Harbor to never be found again.
I am obsessed with those kind of stories. That's
they're
such a
just
good one.
So creepy. Like the fact that like nothing comes of it, like finding it is so, I don't even know the word.
Yeah.
It's like ominous.
And that many people saw the same exact thing. It's like, how does that happen?
Yeah. It has to be real.
And that's what makes it really special. Like when you hear like a UFO story and it's like two guys are at their cottage and they saw this, it's like,
you're
maybe
like, okay,
they did.
maybe.
You're like, maybe they were stoned.
Yeah, they were probably stoned. But when you have like, like 30 people or something, and I think even the individual reports made about this, I think there was like 5 or 10 calls to like emergency responders as it happened. So it's like people all over were seeing it.
That's wild. We had one of those in like the Bridgewater Triangle that like over a dozen people called from like separate areas to say, and it was all the same description, everything. And you're like, that has to be something. How can that not?
Yeah, exactly. But then it becomes a question like what could it have been? And
where is it?
Yeah, well, one of the leading theories with Shag Harbor, and this is interesting, is at the time in 67 was kind of on the tail end of the Cold War, and the American government had surveillance kind of satellites that would travel around, and as they orbited Earth, when it got over, Russia or whatever, it would start taking photos. And back then it wasn't digital cameras, so they had to develop the film. Eventually what would happen is as the satellite came back around North America, it would drop these packages of its film, and it would have a flare affixed to it. So a lot of people believe what was seen in Shag Harbor was one of these kind of film canisters being dropped from this satellite. And I guess the satellite that would have been used was in that area, like, high in the sky, but around that time. So it is, and the idea would be it would drop from the sky by flare, and then a submarine would pick it up and take off and go look at the photos. Just kind of cool.
Oh, that's interesting.
But even if that's what it is, that's still cool.
Yeah, that's still really cool.
Ooh, I love that. It's a wild tale. I don't really, again, not a really good way to transition out of that,
because that's like real good.
That was a good one.
It's like an ad. This is probably an ad break story.
I think it is. Yeah, insert ad here. And then we're going to take you to Missouri to visit Momo the monster.
Of course we are.
We had White Thing.
Now we got Momo.
So Momo
what was the name of that? Remember that weird face that was going
internet
viral?
thing?
Was that?
Yeah, I think it was.
Their name was Momo as well.
2 Momos. All right, go on.
2 Momos. This is a different Momo.
Who's worse?
Honestly, I think this Momo's kind of cuter, if you ask me.
All right, cool.
So Momo was first spotted in the 70s, and Momo is a Bigfoot-like creature who's covered in thick black fur, unlike the White Thing.
Okay.
But also said to be so foul-smelling that it will make your eyes water.
Why do they all smell?
Well, I mean, think of a wet dog.
Yeah,
I think
they live in the woods.
Yeah, they live in the woods. It rains, it pours. There's dead animals, there's odors, it eats things, it probably gets guts on it.
And I wonder if it does the dog thing where it rolls around and
in the dead scents.
Like Bubba used to roll around in dead animal if she found one, which was like
So heinous.
Always so welcome and so great. But
yeah.
yeah.
It's like a territorial thing. And then imagine the dead things that these could rub themselves all over. Yeah. Huge dead rubbing. Gross. But the only facial feature that people can make out when they encounter this Momo animal is that he too has glowing red or orangey eyes.
I bet they're all in the same family.
I think so. I think they're all in the Bigfoot family, but they can't make out any like mouth or nose, just the eyes because he's so covered in fur. Now, the first spotting, like I said, was in the 70s, and this little girl spotted him. Her brothers were playing outside, and she was inside. And all of a sudden, she hears, and these are like older boys, they're in their teenage years, and she hears them screaming, like shrieking. And she's like, ooh, what the heck? So she goes, she peeks out the window, and she sees a 7-foot tall monster, again, with glowing reddish orange eyes. Like, imagine how terrifying that would be.
Yeah, no.
And then on top of that, he had a dead dog in tow.
Oh.
He's just holding a dead dog tucked under his arm.
Rude.
So they all run inside. They like go to their mom, and this thing just like cruises through.
All right.
He was just passing by. So more and more people started claiming that they saw him shortly after this incident was reported. And others thought they heard him in the woods late at night, kind of like the video that you played for us, Jordan. Mm-hmm. And his screams are said to be just like inhuman. And his roars are similar to a bear, again, like you were saying, but people say it's not quite that. Like it's similar, but it's not quite that.
Probably the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like those ones.
Maybe this is what your friend encountered. So the fire chief himself, Richard Allen Murray, way back then said, and again around the 70s, said one night he was driving along late at night, and he spotted Momo as he was driving. He said, I was amazed to see something. I thought it was a bunch of nonsense, but then I saw something. And he believed it to be Momo. So he starts telling people. He's also, in addition to being the fire chief, he was on the city council. So he gets this group of men together. They're going to fight Momo.
A vigilance committee.
Yes, I think they gathered about 25 men, and they wanted to hunt whatever the hell this was. So they went out into the woods and they decided to.
Why?
And on July 19th, 1972, this is a real newspaper clipping. Shout out to newspapers.com. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch wrote a piece on the hunt saying, quote, 25 men trudged over wooded hills today in what authorities said was the first monster hunt of this Mississippi River town. But they found not even a trace of a rabbit or a squirrel, let alone the shaggy beast that witnesses say walks erect. And then one person commented, we didn't even see a leaf that was turned over, said one disappointed searcher. Whatever the monster is, it has not bathed recently, according to those who say they've seen it. The reports say that the approach can be detected by a foul odor long before the creature is seen.
Unfair, because like you said, maybe he has bathed and he just doesn't have a towel.
Exactly.
So he smells like a wet dog.
He's just a little stanky.
Maybe it's the dead dog that stinks, the one that he's carrying.
Yeah,
you ever think of that?
Blame the monster.
The decaying animal he's carrying.
It could be that.
Now, so that search didn't turn up anything at all. But then there was another search, and they found tracks that they were like, I think that could be Momo's feet.
Yeah.
So they submit them to the Oklahoma City Zoo, the director. His name was Lawrence Curtis. And Lawrence Curtis said that these tracks were like he had never seen before. And he said they were that of an unknown primate.
Like Momo.
So I think Momo could be lurking out there, you guys.
I like Momo.
I don't want to hunt him, though.
Yeah, I mean, I love the dead dog thing? No, but I understand Circle of Life.
It kind of gives me of Mice and Men vibes. Maybe he's a gentle beast, and he didn't realize that he had killed the dog by accident.
Maybe he didn't kill the dog.
Yeah,
maybe the dog was already dead, and he was like, "Well, don't want to leave this for someone else."
Truth.
So.
Well, I think the dead dog, it's a bit of a red herring. Culturally, we're like, it's not cool to carry a dead dog. But I think some other animals or life forms may come in our kitchen and look at what we got in our fridges and stuff and be like,
exactly,
I had a cold box with a bunch of shredded up cow.
Yes.
You know, like
they're like, that's gross and weird.
Yeah, so this guy, whatever it is, it's just maybe that's its food and that is where it stores it. And I don't think we should be judging that.
No, I agree. I don't think we should judge Momo at all. I think we should let Momo live.
Justice for Momo is what I say.
You heard it here first.
I hate when a bunch of men decide to get together and they're like, let's hunt this thing. And it's like, why though?
It was like Beauty and the Beast. I'm
Why?
like, he's a beautiful
It is.
creature. Leave him alone.
Like
Gaston.
I pictured Gaston at the head of that with
Yeah.
like torches
with
and
his
for no
stupid
reason.
little sidekick.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Get out of the
I think they're
woods.
just lucky. These 25 men are lucky they didn't stumble upon this thing because I think it
Yeah.
would be about 17 dead men at the end of it,
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Momo would have took them to town.
and
but
like
Momo
an
is a
injured
good
innocent
guy.
animal. Yeah,
Yeah.
So, because
Yeah.
I don't hear in the story unless I missed it. I don't think he really did anything other than freak some people out because of carrying a dog and stinking.
Yeah.
It seems like he's just like most Bigfoot, just like walking around and people see him and they're like, oh, he's big and scary. Let's kill him.
Yeah.
Let's get 25
Momo.
men.
25 men to go
Prove
in
how
there.
manly we are. Let's go kill Momo.
Poor Momo.
Quick, someone let all the women know we're doing something like this.
Exactly. It reeks of that.
They can be impressed.
Yeah, seriously. Before we go, let's tell the women.
I love it. Well, I'm staying in the woods. So
Okay.
good.
So there's the segue for that. Mine is a little different. Mine is called The Not Deer.
So is it a deer?
No.
That's the one thing that's known about this story.
It's
Not a deer.
not a deer. It is called The Not Deer. It's found in Tennessee.
Oh,
And
it's the
throughout-
only 10 I see.
Ooh, look at that. And it's found throughout Appalachia. So you can see it anywhere.
Okay.
There. And basically, people see it in the forest and think it's just this massive deer because it's really huge. And it looks like that at first. You're like, oh, a big deer. But then you look and you look a little harder and it's not a deer. It has all these weird joints and antlers and limbs almost appearing broken.
Oh.
Like the legs can bend outward. Like
Oh.
like they're all seem like they're broken in weird jutted ways. It looks a fool when you actually look at it.
It is acting a fool.
Yeah. One of the things that people report most is that that's like the weirdest part and how they're able to be like that's not a deer is it has eyes that are on the front of its head instead of towards the sides.
Okay.
Which is normally attributed to a predator.
Oh.
So that's great.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And its eyes can also be weirdly human-like, which whenever you see an animal that has like human eyes,
Get away from me.
like you ever seen those dogs that have eyes that look like a Victorian child is trapped
Yes.
inside of it? Like that's what I picture.
Mhm.
It's like just these like sad Victorian eyes looking at you. I
I
don't
just
know
had to
why.
close my own eyes.
It's stressful. And they feel like they have this weird human type presence about them. People have said like
Is
they
it
don't
because they're broken.
like they don't look probably it's they don't look human like, but they just have a feeling of like I feel like they are judging me or something. Like it's a very human like feel to it.
Well, there's times where I see like a screwed up animal and I'm like, I know how you feel, man.
Yeah, you could just like same.
That is
Same
me.
not deer.
You showed me a not
You.
deer and like I can relate.
And we were both
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Nah, it'd be
Me
like
too.
that sometimes.
And all reports say that those who witnessed it in person just get this weird feeling of being deeply unsettled, which at first I was like, that's probably because you're seeing what you just described. Like I would also feel unsettled. I think
Same.
just that's a natural reaction. But people said it wasn't just that initial like fear feeling of like, what the hell is that? It's like this palpable feeling of dread and just, and everybody described it as wrongness, just not right, whatever it was. And wrongness, maybe because some reports said that it has human hands or paws for arms, and it walked on two deer-like hind legs.
So it walks on its hind legs and just kind
And,
of
like, has
its regular
human-
hands.
or paw fronts.
Maybe it's a little monster. Paws up.
There you go, paws up. Gaga. But also, some witnesses I saw said that, and I hate this. I don't know why this freaks me out so much. Its mouth hangs open, and like its tongue will hang out.
You showed me a video and I hate, loathe entirely.
Yeah, I don't like when it's just like blue. Like it's just like it's I don't know.
You
about
don't
it.
like that, but you're bringing a lot of that to the table today.
I'm bringing it for you. I'm doing this
Seriously.
all for you, putting myself in a very unsettled position. But its eyes also glow brighter than normal because you know how when you like flashlight on a deer's eyes, you can see it. Or it has too many eyes, which would be more than two for me. I'm sure everybody else feels that way. So this is just not a deer. I watched this TikToker again. but I'm not going to mention their name because at first I was like, oh, I'm going to shout them out so that everybody goes to their thing. But then they were like, stop asking me about the fucking not deer. And I was like, okay, I won't shout you out. So
delete the video then.
So don't ask them about the fucking not deer, but I'm not going to say their name.
Okay.
But they had a lot of experiences while living here with the not deer. They said they ran into one night and like they were just walking on their property, like outside. I think it was their grandparents' house. And they said the mouth was like indeed hanging open way too wide. They said it was way too, it wasn't just like a deer that's like, because it's like, I don't know, when deers get like bonked on the head, can sometimes they'd be like, "Bleh," like, and just like sit there with your mouth open. Perhaps, like, maybe.
Is that what they do?
I don't know. I just feel like when things get bonked on the head sometimes.
Do they make that noise as well? Do they go, "Bleh"?
Maybe.
I am a deer, but
but this was way too wide. They said it stretched from ear to ear, like the opening.
Oh.
Like it was unnatural.
No.
Another time they said they encountered another not deer during the day, and their eyes shone like deers do, but at night, but it was during the day.
Ugh.
Like it shone like it was flashing something on it. But they said almost every time they have seen not deer, they also have a ton of sharp teeth in their mouth, like not deer teeth. They're like carnivorous teeth. Yeah, so that's predatory to me. I literally wrote here, check out this person's stuff on cryptids. Don't do it. I didn't tell you who they were. But it's really fast too. It's really fast, which is not great because it's all like bent and gnarly, but it can like launch itself at you.
And I imagine there's all like, as it's running, since it's so screwed up, there'd be some weird sounds coming out of this thing.
Like snapping and cracking and
flapping flesh and just ugh.
Yep. And it can be up to 30 miles per hour. It can run at you.
Sheesh.
Damn.
Okay.
And since it's a predator with those eyes, that's bad. And there are reports of people getting chased by them and being able to like jump somewhere or climb something to get away from it. Yeah. But
wow,
I'd like to bring us all down to logic time for a second, just for a quick second, because I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is this? Some of these are definitely just real deers, I think, that it might be suffering from something called chronic wasting disease.
Oh. Or they just get human hands all of a sudden.
Well, I think that's just people. Well, who knows? Maybe there are not deers out there that like look like that. But I think some of these sightings might be attributed to this. It's this neurological virus that only like deer, moose, elk, like those kind of species, kind of dudes can get. It's fatal. And and the symptoms can be massive weight loss, which can make joints look a little gnarled and mutated. They'll stumble around because it's neurological. They make weird sounds. Sometimes the mouth can hang open a little bit, and they lose their fear of humans. So they will just come at you. Like that's usually deer will run away from you.
That's so sad.
But honestly, that's kind of not a deer either. So it's not.
Yeah,
it don't make sense in the end.
That's sad. I hate at the end.
Sorry.
That's I guess one theory, but it's like that's pretty dark if that's what it is. But the idea of like if you see an animal that's at the end of its life, you don't know that. That's just the one time you see the animal. So if this thing's wasting away, it's all screwed up and disoriented and bizarre. Yeah, that's freaky.
Isn't that scary? Either way, it's scary.
Yeah, I hope a lot of them aren't sick, and I hope it's more just not deer.
Yeah, what I was thinking as you were describing it, I was thinking like it sounds like a deer that like just got hit by a car or something.
That's what I thought too.
And it managed to survive, but it's just it's half broken and it's going on adrenaline, and that's pretty freaky too.
Yeah,
and it's just sad.
And they can make weird noises when they're hurt and sick, like can like literally growl, like ugh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So who knows? Maybe there are not deers, but.
But there's also there's a chance you could run into it. Let's say just if the tables are turned, you're a deer and you encounter a human. And the only thing you know about humans are like the typical average human you would normally see, like a healthy, middle-aged animal, fully clothed, doing its thing. And you just happen to stumble upon a human who has like the worst stomach flu ever. And you're like, I saw this. It was just puking and it like was rolling around and it was awful.
Groaning.
Groaning but it's like maybe this not deer is just the equivalent of like by chance you stumble upon a human who has like this horrible
Who has like the
flu or, something.
norovirus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That just makes me want to knock on wood.
It's true, I know. No
Or
stomach
COVID.
flu.
It's just like it has like this
Yeah.
raspy voice and it was hacking.
Yes. Can't taste
And-
anything. Can't
Gnarled from the joint pain.
Yeah, it has like a ventilator hooked up. It had this machine
Yes.
that was breathing for it. It
It
was
must
a
have been
robot
a
animal.
monster. It's true.
It was a white thing.
It was a white thing. We've come full circle.
Wonderful.
Okay. I think the only way to segue from whatever the heck that was, the not deer,
not deer.
is to pirate treasure. Would that be a
yeah,
natural
yeah.
step?
Yeah, of course.
People all over the world know Nova Scotia. So again, I'm from a province called Nova Scotia in Canada. We are known for very little. There's not much famous things about Nova Scotia that people be like, oh, you're from the place that has blank. However, a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago, a TV show came out called The Curse of Oak Island. I think it's aired on the History Channel, and it's probably also aired on other channels around the world. But more often than not, when I tell someone international that I'm from Nova Scotia, if they know what Nova Scotia is, they know it because it's the setting for that television show, The Curse of Oak Island.
I love that.
Yeah, well, it's a cool thing to be known for because
Yeah.
Oak Island and the Oak Island mystery is the world. I keep wanting to say Canada's, but no, it's the world's longest running active treasure hunt. And what I mean by that is since 1857, people in one group or another have been actively digging for treasure on a small island in Nova Scotia since 1857. So my math is horrible.
Wow.
That's over 100 years. 1857, 200.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's almost 200 years.
Yeah, you're right.
None of us
Okay.
math here.
We all suck at it.
Yeah.
I dropped out of college, so.
For a tremendous amount of time, people have been actively pursuing treasure. 6 people have died during the pursuit of this treasure, all due to accidental deaths. Like one group poisoned themselves, but they dug down so deep into the ground that the gases in the ground basically killed them.
Oh my
While
God.
other people were trying to rescue them, they died in trying to rescue. There was a couple explosions because again, when you're talking about digging, 100 years ago, there's a lot of unsafe labor that's going on back then. But the story's quite amazing, and it could be its own series of morbid podcast episodes in itself. It's just due to the length of time it's been going on, but the way the story goes usually, and again, every part of the story is disputed, as is any other 200-year-old story. But basically, the way the story starts is a group of young men see some strange lights on this small uninhabited island called Oak Island. They immediately assume that it's likely someone stashing something. This was a time of prohibition where you couldn't have alcohol, so bootleggers would kind of hide the alcohol places, like for example a small island, and they do it by boat and then they go collect it later. So these young guys see the lights over on this island and they think, yeah, we'll go over there tomorrow and see what that's all about. When they go over to the island by a little boat the next day, they go to where the light was, and they don't see anything obviously hidden, but they do notice a tree that has a pulley hanging from it, like something you would attach a rope to, and there's a depression in the ground below it. Not a recently dug depression, but an obvious sign that someone had dug or buried or had been using this land before. They grab some shovels, they start digging, and over the period of several days, they're doing this work, and as they dig down, they dig first 10 feet, and what they hit at 10 feet down is a platform of oak logs, just a bunch of logs cut side by side. And they're like, oh, well, we pull these logs up, we're certainly going to find whatever it is, below it. So they pull the logs up, and there's more dirt. So they dig down further. They get another 10 feet down. There's now a platform of logs, but on top of the logs is a thick kind of mat of some kind of material, which has now been learned to be coconut fibers, which is weird because we don't have coconuts on the east coast here of Canada. But except if you dig on Oak Island, there's coconut fibers all over there. But eventually these guys managed to dig down 90 feet, which is an incredible amount.
Shit.
That's commitment.
Hell yeah. And they're finding this platform of logs every 10 feet covered with coconut fibers. When they get down 90 feet, it's like it's the end of one of their work days. Like I think they spent a few days digging. At the end of the day, they get to the 90th foot mark where there's this platform of logs, but this platform is unique where it has a large flat rock with some kind of carving on it. They
Don't move
think
that. Don't move that.
Spoiler alert, they do. They think this platform is unique. Whatever's under here is the treasure.
No.
But daylight, like sunlight is going down, so they need to stop work. But before they do, they pull up the rock, they take it above ground with them. This is a story that includes a lot of kind of booby traps and stuff. So I won't get into all of them, but it appears, or legend would have it, that they fell for the main booby trap by removing this rock. Because up until now, the pit they dug has been dry. They come back the next morning, the pit pretty much right to the surface is filled with water. Many people believe that by pulling up this rock has kind of unlocked something that allowed the pit to fill up. Because over the next probably 100 years of trying one company to another, one group of investors to another, they've been digging down, trying to find ways to get the water out of there. But what they have found instead is all of these kind of tunnels that go from different parts of the island underground to this pit. And it's all feeding water.
What?
So you cannot dig faster than the ocean can refill itself.
Wow.
So that's kind of how the story starts. But if you jump forward now to present day, 2022, the history of this island has included multiple groups getting sucked in by the idea that there's something buried underground, that multiple people, multiple groups have dedicated their lives. Some, as I mentioned earlier, some have died in pursuit of it. Many have lost every cent they own in trying to find different ways to get under this ground to figure out what there is. And there's now a museum on the island that archives a lot of the major discoveries. And it's not people going blindly on faith. There's been things found like, 200 feet below ground, a pair of scissors or a piece of parchment paper that has like ornate writing on it for no reason at all. And now the TV show, The Curse of Oak Island, is kind of chronicles the current search, and it follows along with the current treasure hunters who are digging there. And this is something in Nova Scotia. What's really unique is, of course, any community or province or state or whatever, they would have their own laws and bylaws that dictate how people can act. In Nova Scotia, we have a special set of legislation that's called the Treasure Trove Act, which regulates how people use this island for treasure hunting. So it's very unique, but
that's so cool.
It is very cool.
Watch this show now.
I do too.
Well, they don't find much, but what's interesting is when you go through the history of Oak Island, you find people who've done some incredible things and some ingenious ways of getting down deep below ground. For example, one guy who recently passed away, he was from Florida, and he did a lot of metalworking, and he had read in Reader's Digest, I think in like the 60s, about the story of Oak Island, and he thought, using my skills in metalworking, I may have some unique skill to offer that may help me take over, or may help me find the treasure. And what he ended up doing was to get down below ground and to prevent water from coming in and the whole thing collapsing on itself, he bought a whole bunch of decommissioned tanker cars that would be on a train, like the long, narrow tanks. And what he did was he would put it upright on the ground and dig out underneath it. So the tanker would slowly kind of slide into a hole that he was digging underneath it. Once it got deep enough, he put another one on top and welded them together and would continue to dig down. So as he was digging, these things were slowly sliding into the ground. And he ended up getting 180 feet into the ground.
Oh my
insane.
God.
Yeah.
I was wondering if someone was going to come up with something like that.
Yeah, but he ended up, when he got that deep, at the bottom of what he had dug was a pool of water, and using pretty much like homemade equipment, he dived down into it, and he believes he saw a treasure chest as well as a skeleton while he was down there. But no one's really ever been able to get down there since, so the jury is out. Yeah, but whenever I talk to people and tell them where I'm from, very often this comes up, and they're like, what do you think is down there? But
what do you think is down there?
Yeah, what do you think?
I don't know. My thing is, like, what I've always thought about Oak Island and the treasure hunt is, like, the idea of there being treasure is very cool, but probably more interesting than what it could be is, like, the individual stories of the people who have dedicated life and limb to pursue this kind of insane idea. Like the guy who dug the hole in putting the train down there, his name was Dan Blankenship. When I met him, he had recently passed away, but I think he was like 90 years old, and he just kind of sat in a chair on kind of the entrance to the museum on the island, just still like it's like if it wasn't for age and time, he would be in a hole digging. Yeah, and it's like he'd love to talk about it. It was amazing. And if anyone ever comes to Nova Scotia, like they do tours in the summer where you can kind of see the main spots on the island, and it's all kind of curated and guided. It's pretty amazing.
That's really cool.
I want to go and see that.
I know, and I wish somebody had found something before he passed away.
I know.
But it's one of those things where it's like they're always on the verge of a major discovery. And I've heard about this since I was a kid. Like I think when I was like maybe 6 years old, my grandparents were telling me about it. But it's fortunately now that this TV show airs, you can kind of see it and, see what they're actually doing. Because when I was a kid, it's like I heard about it and I could see pictures and read books about it. But now you can kind of watch along as they dig, which is pretty neat.
That's sick.
Really cool.
I think it was a big mistake to move that rock, though.
Huge.
Whenever you come across an inscribed rock that's hidden 90 feet below the surface, just leave it. Stay away from that rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the rock had carvings, but the rock has been lost since, so people don't know what it says.
Ooh. Oof, that's even worse.
Yeah, so it's like,
curse indeed.
If you are going to grab the rock and pull it up, take care of the rock.
Yeah, hold on to it.
It's important.
Do you think somebody has it and they're like hiding it for more of a treasure hunt?
Possibly, but one of the kind of, they've traced this rock looking for it. People call it the 90-foot stone. It apparently for a while was kept at a bookbinding business in the area, and they used it as the stone that they would, like, I guess when you do bookbinding, you would like lay the book and like hit it to like kind of make its folds or whatever, and they would use this stone as like kind of the main stone they were using for their bookbinding business, and they had it in the window of the store.
They put it to work.
That's a bad idea.
Bad idea. Since then, they don't know where it is and if it even exists, because it's the kind of thing, another part of the Oak Island treasure hunt, and I guess maybe the flaw with humanity, is someone would dedicate all their time and money to find their way of getting down there, but then eventually they get to a point where they run out of money and they got to cash out. So there's this idea in mining, they call it salting the mine, and the idea is like, just as you want to cash out, you find something of value to make someone else want to buy the mine or whatever off you. So a lot of the things that have happened over history, people think a lot of them are maybe just investors wanting to cash out and planting something that makes it look like they're just about to find something.
It does make sense.
I could see that.
But now, regardless, though, it's like since 1857 till today, there's still digging and treasure hunting going on, which is pretty cool.
I love that.
That's wild.
That story was like adorable and terrifying all at the same time.
I really like that story. I'm going to dive more into that.
Well, I just think it's cool to find these kind of like hidden little gems like that are just kind of existing around that you don't know about generally.
Because who knew that there was even that, like, a treasure hunt happening at all?
Yeah.
Never mind like the longest one in history.
Yeah,
people who tune into the History Channel.
And a treasure hunt where they don't know what's down
what they're
there,
looking for.
Yeah, or who put it there. That's a part of it. There's all these theories over what it's Shakespeare's lost manuscripts. It's religious artifacts. It's a pirate's treasure.
That's what I thought of.
Like, maybe it's not even a treasure at all.
I know. Maybe it's a curse that has already been unleashed.
That's what I think.
right at the beginning of the pandemic, we dug up this weird thing.
Yeah.
I know. I'm like, did you dig up the panoramic?
So many of those things happened all at once where they were like so weird. Like scientists opened 600 sarcophagi and and you're like, yeah, that's probably fine. That's probably not why we have COVID, but thank you.
Yeah, now
That's great.
That's probably why polio's back.
Thanks for that.
Well, at one point you called that a little gem, and I have to tell you guys, I'm bringing you a little gem right now.
You are.
I'm going to skip over my paranormal kind of spooky one for the sake of time, and I'll bring it to you at a later date.
This one.
Because this one I have to tell you about.
You too.
I want to tell you guys about the squonk.
I love it.
The squonk. What really drew me to the squonk is that they're very emotional beings. And me too. I think that they are all just cancers, like
the
zodiac.
astrology
Yeah,
sign.
It's a shame that we're relating to so many of these beasts.
I know.
yeah, we're all alike in some way, you know.
We can all find ourselves somewhere in here.
The thing is, you might be able to find yourself in this. Maybe all of us sitting here are a listener. The squonk can disappear with its tears. It just sits there sobbing, and then its tears make it disappear and go off elsewhere.
Why is that so funny to me?
It's so funny.
I think it's deep.
It is.
This
The
idea.
squonk is a
Real
deep
deep.
animal. And I know why the squonk is so sad. It's because his home state of Pennsylvania has classified him as the homeliest animal in the world.
Oh, the poor squonk.
The poor squonk. So
Who are they to say?
who are they? Legends of the squonk actually date all the way back to 1910, when the squonk was referenced in a book written by a man named William Cox called Fearsome Creatures of the Lumber Woods with a Few Desert and Mountain Beasts. He said, I sprinkled some in there. Yeah. So Mr. Cox said that the squonk was one of many creatures living in the hemlock forests in Pennsylvania. And he went on to say that the squonk is a, quote, most retiring, bashful, I can't say this word. How do you say this word? Crepuscular?
Crepuscular?
Crepuscular. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
He's garbed in a loose, warty, singularly ill-fitting skin. The squonk is always unhappy, even morbid, TM. He is given to constant weeping over his really upsetting appearance and can sometimes be tracked by his tear-stained trail. Moonlit nights are best for squonk hunts, for then the animal prefers to lie quiet in its hemlock home, fearing, should it venture forth, that it may catch a glimpse of itself in some moonlit pool.
This was just me in junior high.
They said he's
This was
so
literally
ugly.
me in junior high.
He's scared to see himself.
Oh my god.
So sad.
Poor squonk.
I hate that was you in junior high. You were beautiful.
Oh my god, thank you.
Yeah,
I was
you
not.
still are, but
Thank
you
you.
were not a squonk.
I was a squonk.
Your skin wasn't ill-fitting.
No way.
How do you know? You guys don't know.
I know. I knew ya.
Well, it's not. I don't know if it's as much about the reality as how you feel. And when we hear about the skunk, it obviously feels miserable. And then the idea that when it expresses that, it becomes invisible.
I know.
it's
So
it's
it's
like
like-
an allegory of some sort.
Yeah.
Just let me disappear with my woes.
I feel alone. I start to cry and I disappear
I become invisible.
and am truly alone. I feel horrible for this guy.
Yeah, he just needs like a friend.
He needs some uplifting music. I feel like the squonk listens to like a lot of The Cure. And like whenever I do that, I'm personally very sad. So, but this man, William, goes on to say that, quote, sometimes you can hear one weeping softly to himself. The sound is a low note of pleading, somewhat resembling the call of a cross-feathered snee.
Oh.
And he gave the squonk a more official, like scientific name, which is, I hope I'm saying this right, Lacrimocorpus dissolvens, which comes from 3 Latin words, which like scary that I said those, that translate to tears, body, and dissolve.
I can't believe he just dissolves in tears.
Now, again, he's so sad because his skin is said to be ill-fitting, but also he's covered in tons of blemishes and warts.
He just needs a skincare routine.
Yeah, I think so.
That's all.
But the tears over his appearance really do come in clutch because, like I said, it can disappear from crying. And people do hunt squonk. And one man was said to have caught a squonk and he put him in his bag, which I think is personally very rude. And he's just walking along with his bag of squonk. And he realizes at some point during his journey home to show the ladies, apparently, that his bag isn't quite as heavy as when he started. And he checked it out and he went in there and he said when he looked into the bag, all he saw was, quote, the liquid remains of a sad animal.
So he just cried himself out of there.
He said, bye.
But he said,
Well, that kind of worked, yeah.
Maybe he's crying tears of joy because he's like, sucker.
there you go.
You get me and my ill-fitting warts.
Maybe he's emotionally manipulative and he just cries on cue.
Emotional baby boy.
He's just a thespian.
Well,
he can
you
cry
work
whenever
with
he
what-
wants.
You work with what you got, and I
You
think
do.
it served him, but I bet you there's times when the squonk is alone, crying sincere tears,
Probably.
wanting someone to notice, and they can't. It's almost like Midas's golden touch. It's like because you can just touch something and get money, but then it turns out you cannot connect with another person because if you touch them.
Yeah.
That's kind of how this guy is, and he probably has good
double-edged
days
sword.
with it and bad days with it. But
Don't we all with our skin and our vibes and our bodies,
true.
you know?
yeah, but overall, in hearing this whole story, it came across as like a dark Dr. Seuss story, and even the name, like
The name, a
Squonk.
squonk.
Yeah, it does sound like that.
Like yeah, if
Poor
only you
little
could, if you could like rewrite it and read it in rhyme, it would actually absolutely be like a Halloween Dr. Seuss.
Yeah. 100%.
Maybe I'll do that.
I just feel bad for the squonk.
I want a squonk so we can cry together about our woes. And maybe he can teach me how to disappear when I'm a little sad.
What I'm a little sad.
A little sad.
Oh, man. Well,
That's dark. That's not. We can't
yeah.
end on that though. That's a dark story to
can't.
end on.
It was even morbid, guys.
it was very morbid, but mine is just strange. Mine's called the skunk ape.
Hell yeah.
So
I like this.
yeah, he's just essentially a smelly Bigfoot of Florida,
All of them so stanky.
and he's from Florida.
Florida man.
He's a Florida man. He's a Florida Bigfoot.
I love that for him.
There have been tales and sightings of this man's for like hundreds of years in this area. It's basically Bigfoot, but it has dark hair and it has that really foul odor associated with it. So it kind of sounds like Moo Moo there.
I was going to say, is it Momo?
Or Moo Moo, Momo,
God,
whatever.
don't say the wrong
Whatever it
name.
is. Sorry, Momo.
That's my man's.
But it's got the foul odor associated with it. This guy named Dave Shealy is the one who really dedicated his whole life to proving that these exist. And he said it's a mixture of a skunk, moldy cheese, and goat dung, the smell.
Oh,
I didn't know that goat dung had a specific smell.
Didn't know either.
But
But
we do. The more you know.
and then
the
moldy
background.
cheese.
The background you would need to have to give that description of a smell is amazing.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is. I would like to hear what that entails. Moldy cheese, though, just makes me think of like blue cheese.
Same. And I love blue cheese, but it is very stankalicious.
And when you put it with skunk and goat dung, I assume that it's not like a good flavor profile. But it also, when I hear like a smelly thing, I initially, when I didn't know that's what it smelled like, I was like, well, is it like a sulfur smell? Because then it's like a demon.
Right.
But I think it just has
Or a
like
UFO.
overactive glands or something. Maybe.
He's just a sweaty being.
Like a thyroid problem, maybe. But I think he's nice. I think he's a nice guy. There's no reports that he's hurt anybody or tried to hurt anyone, like most big feet, I think. And the first sighting of these creatures goes back to 1957. The first recorded one goes back to 1957. Two hunters were camping in the Everglades, which was their first mistake, in my opinion. And they came out terrified, saying that they had seen a giant, very pungent ape. So, it's the
Skunk ape.
50s. There were also tons of reports after this first report. There was a ton that came in right after in the Everglades. So it was kind of like it started a whole thing. And this was in the 50s. So it's not like they saw it online and everybody started following this. Like there was actual reports. And people tried to claim that it was coming up to their cars and shit, which I think it just got more and more crazy. Because again,
Telephone.
big feet are peaceful, in my opinion. I refuse that they want anything to do with our dumbasses. I think
would
that's why
say.
they run away from us because they're like, I don't want to know you. Get away from me. There was actually and this was in 1997, that there was a whole tour bus of people, 30 plus people that claimed that they saw this Bigfoot.
I thought you were going to say there was a whole tour bus full of skunk apes, and I got so excited.
Imagine if that would be so casual for me to say.
I could see you doing that, though, just to set us up.
Yep, they commandeered a bus, and that's the end of my story. No, it was just like a mass sighting of them. I do wonder, though, if this was a tour, because I could not find what this tour bus was for. And I'm like,
Yeah.
was it a tour bus to go find a skunk ape? Because if that's the case, It's like saying you saw a moose on a moose tour.
True.
So, same year, 1997, a photograph was taken by Okeechobee Fire Control District Chief Vince Dower. And in this picture, it shows a skunk ape, or what he says is a skunk ape, and it's like through the forest, just like standing there. It's like this little guy,
Almost like a meerkat.
but he's big.
Big.
Yeah, it's just
The opposite of a meerkat.
but it looks tiny. And apparently, after this picture came out, dozens of people started reporting this very creature to the Big Cypress National Preserve. So they got a ton of sightings in this same area. Now, people do say that there's also like zoos and nature preserves around, and that they do have like primates, like orangutans and all kinds of things that could, and like gorillas even. There have been escapes of those things. So who knows if one or more of these were like, whoops, we just saw that escaped orangutan that nobody knew about. I don't know. Either way, Dave Shealy, the guy who I said has like dedicated his life to this, he saw one basically for the first time when he was 10, and he was out with his family hunting, and he said he saw one. His little brother was with him. He saw it too. And since then, he just can't get over it. He wants to prove that they're real. He even shot a video of one, and I think he said he's seen like 3 since then. But he did get a video of one in 2000.
Ooh.
And it just is basic. It looks like a gorilla just walking through an open field. But it's like the classic, like Bigfoot walk, that like amble that they do, you know? Except we're all doing the same exact. If this was
Walk
a visual
like a
podcast right now, we're all just like, walking. And yeah, and it just flees into the forest. It's a video. It's a video.
You think it's real?
Who am I to say? I want it to be real.
Okay.
I want big feet to be out there.
Yeah, I want it to be real. The fact that there's a whole bunch of reports kind of leads a bit of credence to it, but at the same time, what came first, the reports or the legend?
Exactly.
That's what I was thinking.
Exactly. And it's really just, it's the fact that it's like so similar to just like a Bigfoot. Like it's like 8 feet tall or bigger. It has reddish to black hair. They say it's, they're usually trying to distinguish it between the northern Bigfeet. They're like, that's not us.
That's its cousin.
This is the southern Bigfoot. So they're like, it's just different. Like the hair is different. So we have different hair up here, apparently. They can run, which I think a lot of big feet are pretty fast, like upwards of 20 miles per hour. So like, you're kind of fucked if you try to run away from it.
Faster than I can run.
But again, they don't attack people. There's no reports of them being jerks. They just smell. And there is, interestingly, a skunk ape headquarters created by Dave Shealy, located in Okeechobee, Florida.
Let's go.
It has all this
love this guy.
research stuff. He has a big statue of a skunk ape outside of it. There's a website you can go to.
He's a believer.
He's a believer, and he's dedicated to it. And just
what
to
kind
end
of-
this,
It's
Oh,
kind
no,
of
go
like the Oak Island story. It's like someone gets themselves wrapped up in it, and that's what I think that's what these legends and sightings and mythology
Yep.
they need is someone who's like creative, well written, and an archivist who can just take the story on and carry it forward. It makes all the difference.
You need that person.
That's who he is.
We need Dave Shealy. And just to end this on like a little Florida thing, which I thought was very interesting.
Always fun.
In 1977, because there were so many sightings of this thing at this point, like they were like piling up, there was a bill, and it was House Bill 1664, and it was proposed. It didn't go through; it failed, but it was proposed, and it went to the Florida state legislature, and it was to make it illegal to quote take, possess, or molest anthropoids or humanoid animals.
Why
Damn
did
it.
we have to propose a bill to say that we shouldn't do that?
And also, like, why didn't it go through? I think that's pretty fair. Like, I'm just saying.
Well, you know the way government is.
I'm like a lot of red tape, I suppose, but like, I think that's a pretty fair thing to be like, yeah, don't do that.
A lot of things are pretty fair that they don't vote on, so
Like, I
Oh,
would
here
not
we
be
go.
upset if there was a law that was like, don't take or molest a humanoid animal. I'd be like, yeah, don't do that.
yeah, I
That's
would
a great
vote
law.
to pass that. I'd say don't do that.
I'd be like, yay.
In favor.
But it failed. So in Florida, that is not a law. So they're like,
go ahead and do that.
You can
If
apparently
you find one,
yeah,
molest
you can take
away.
Have at it.
possessed or molest, I
Sad.
suppose.
That's
Well, I think an interesting court case will be one day when someone does like take or molest something, and their defense is like it was humanoid, thus it's fair game.
That is not on the books.
Yeah, and the prosecution would be like, that is not at all humanoid.
Yeah,
I like that.
Interesting case.
Should we write fanfic about that? I think we should.
The white thing was not
the white thing.
humanoid.
Oh, that's amazing. I love it.
So yeah, that's the skunk ape. I think the skunk ape.
I like it, but ultimately it's the story of a stinky ape. I think the more fascinating story is the story of the guy who dedicated himself to his life to researching and creating a kind of a home for research for the
That's
skunk.
the story.
And he's really going for it. Dave Shealy.
We
He's
should
got his
have him on.
family into it.
Hey, Dave, you want
He's
to
a
talk?
believer.
I like it.
Yeah, I like people like that.
Should we keep going, or are we?
Yeah,
we
because you have one
on
more, don't
mythology?
you?
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah,
can go
let's
all
end
night.
on yours.
I think talking about Dave Shealy, I have a story that will kind of connect to why it's so important to have someone who's well written, good at communicating, and good at researching to carry a story forward. There's a story in Canada that is seen as our most famous poltergeist / haunted house story. People refer to it simply. Yeah, people refer to it simply as the Great Amherst Mystery. Amherst is a small town in Nova Scotia, and that's where this story takes place. So it's either referred to as the Great Amherst Mystery, named after where it takes place, or simply the haunting of Esther Cox. And Esther Cox is the then 19-year-old woman at the heart of the story. So what's amazing about this is it takes place in 1878, but it is very well documented and very easy to understand, because what ended up happening was it's the story of a poltergeist that seemed to be following this 18 turning 19-year-old woman, Esther Cox. And when it started to become known that this was happening to a young woman in the community, it was in the paper, I think, initially. A famous actor from the United States named Walter Hubble, who had an interest in the paranormal and hauntings and poltergeists, he connected with the family, and he decided to come from the United States to live with her family in Amherst, with the goal of documenting and researching what was happening to her in real time. And he kept a diary as this happened, of what he was seeing and what was happening in the home. And eventually his diary would be published as, at the time, best-selling book. And anyway, so you can kind of get a sense of what was happening through his writing. But again, it has to be taken with a grain of salt, because he did get financial benefit out of the book being a big seller.
Of course.
But ultimately, what happened is, one night, Esther Cox, again, an 18, just about to turn 19-year-old girl, she shared a bedroom in the top floor of a home with, I think, 3 other siblings. And what was happening to Esther is, over the last several days, she wasn't feeling well. She was quiet. She was kind of staying away from everyone. In the middle of the night, her siblings woke up with Esther kind of crying and moaning, breaking out in a cold sweat. They approached her bed to see what was going on, and what they did was, initially, it's reported as they grabbed the blankets to try to kind of pull them off her to get a look at her, but the blankets were like stuck to her, like it was, they could not get her out of the blankets. And what happens next is the legs of the bed started just kind of going up and down, pounding, as like the whole bed vibrating. Esther's eyes were rolling back in her head. She was awake but not saying anything as they're panicking, like what is happening to Esther. But it all ends on the first night with a large, almost sounding like an explosion in the roof, almost like lightning hit the house. As soon as the sound happens, she snaps out of it, jumps out of bed, unsure of what has happened.
Awesome.
And what happens is, pretty much every night as it goes on, similar things like this happen, but the intensity goes up and up and up as time goes on. It starts to incorporate fire. It starts to be so loud, that the explosions on the roof, that people in the neighborhood are hearing this happening. So it's no secret to everybody that there is a haunted house, or a haunted girl. Walter Hubble, the actor from the United States, comes down and begins tracking it, researching it, writing about it in real time. The newspaper, the local newspaper, is covering it in real time. Crowds are gathering outside of the home. Eventually, what they do is they take Esther on a sort of tour, almost like a freak show sort of thing, where they're charging money to get in to see her and get a glimpse of the haunted girl.
People, man. People are gonna people.
Yeah, but it gets so bad that people in the community are complaining because fires are breaking out and they're worried it's gonna, injure someone or spread a fire to a neighboring home. Esther eventually gets shipped off to, I think it's an uncle's home in a neighboring community to just kind of get away from it. And while there, fire breaks out in the shed or the barn of the home she's staying at, and she gets blamed for it. Not the poltergeist, but she personally gets blamed and goes to prison.
Oh, wow.
As a young girl. So an odd kind of twist in it. But after she gets out of prison, it all stops. So some people believe she kind of snapped out of it if she was responsible, but believers that there was actually a poltergeist or a haunting surrounding her say that she met somebody while in prison who was like a psychic medium kind of witch doctor type, and they were able to break her of whatever curse. Now, the last part I'll say about this is what everybody who researches this, people who were contemporarily close to it at the time, they point back to an incident that happened days before the trouble started for Esther as being the source of it. And what is really odd is, I believe 3 days before the haunting or poltergeist activity began to surface, Esther Cox was on one of her first dates where she was with a young man in the neighborhood, in the community, who took her out on, I think, on a horse-pulled carriage.
So romantic.
What a first date.
Well, it gets less romantic because Esther Cox was not interested in his sexual advances, and he did not like that, and she suffered a physical assault the days before. So when she was quiet for a period of days, eventually it comes out that the reason she was quiet is because of what had happened between her and this boy.
Oh my God.
And so a lot of people think that there was something kind of set off in this attack against Esther that she didn't tell anyone about initially, that just set off this kind of rage around her that almost, did you ever see the movie by Stephen King, or it's a book by Stephen King that became a movie called Firestarter?
Yes.
It seems like it's kind of like
it's got that vibe.
1878 version of like some kind of twist on that or something.
Yeah.
But to this day, like the book about that Walter Hubble wrote about his time living with the Cox family is now public domain, so it's free all over the internet, and it's pretty fascinating if you're a believer because it goes in depth in every little thing he saw. But I think
read that.
I was just going to say,
I was like, I
want to do like a full episode on that.
well, some parts of it are like absurd where you hear about like, they convince the ghosts, like, if knock once for yes, twice for no. And there's actually parts where Walter Hubble claims to have like interviewed this spirit.
I love it.
Yeah. And of course, much like every poltergeist haunted house story, there's also a famous incident that occurred where during one of Esther Cox's fits at night, her siblings who were in the room with her watched carving into the wooden wall without anyone touching it, just the words carved into the wall slowly, Esther Cox, you are mine to kill. So that kind of phrase is used a lot, where apparently that was slowly carved into the wall in plain eyesight of other witnesses, as recounted in Walter Hubble's book.
Ooh. Have you ever seen the movie It Follows?
Oh, I love that movie.
Me too.
In a weird way, it almost reminds me of that. Like, he assaulted her and like gave her this curse.
Ooh.
And then I'm like, did she give it to somebody else in prison?
That's what when you said she went to prison and came out, I was like, she gave that to someone else. Someone else has that poltergeist now.
Never even thought of that. Well, I gotta say though, It Follows is an amazing movie because
My
one thing is
movie.
it doesn't use like special effects
No.
and it doesn't have a big budget. They just made
Brilliant.
kind of like with Blair Witch. It's like they made something amazing using the resources and the budget and stuff that they had. And it was like written and directed in accordance with their capabilities and their resources.
So good. Right. And the music, the score for It Follows.
So good.
So good.
I saw that movie in theaters, and I just remember being like terrified for weeks.
Oh, there's so many parts of that. Like the really tall guy is the when he like comes into the room for some reason that just like sent me.
It's the naked lady outside the parking lot.
Oh, I hate
the
that
parking
one.
garage.
Yep.
That's freaky.
Don't love it.
Or the lady that comes in and like pees on the floor. She's my least favorite.
It's kind of like a banshee.
Yeah. That was very Banshee vibes.
It was.
Oh man.
Wow, guys, this was like really fun. I feel like we need to start a series of just like campfire tales with Jordan from the Nighttime Podcast.
Can we do that?
Well, next time we talk, I'll tell you a truly, well, like we said at the beginning of this, the worst monsters are people. Next time we talk, we'll get into a story that's unlike any you've ever heard. But it's not mythology. And
no, unfortunately, it's real.
There's some true crime.
It's going to be a lot, but stay tuned because it's coming up.
You haven't seen the last of Jordan Bonaparte.
Heard the last. They're not seeing that.
You're
You
not
have
seeing any of
seen the
this.
last. We haven't, though. So there's that.
Truth.
But it's a shame they don't see it because Alaina's buy my book, talk about my book shirt is a sight to behold. Now, what is on your shirt? Is that Stranger Things?
It is Stranger Things.
As you're sitting on a throne of Butcher and Wren books.
Yeah, literally. I'm like,
I have
what?
one over here too.
Oh my God, I just dropped
Stranger
my
Things
book.
copy.
I just dropped my book that I wrote. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
oops. Yeah, it's Stranger Things, and it's Max floating above
I
the
like it.
graveyard, and it has the little, like, running up that hill.
I like it.
Thanks.
Well, this has been a blast. I would do
was
this
so
every
much
night.
fun. We're going to do this again.
We don't even have to record it. We can talk this stuff anytime.
We'll just talk about cryptids together. Well, thank you again. And where can everybody find you?
Anywhere they find Morbid Podcasts, they can find the Nighttime Podcast. And they can find Canadian crime, mysteries, weird stories, all sorts of things. But very much in line. What I do is very much in line with what you all do. The only difference really is that it's generally me interviewing a guest, and all the stories I feature are set and based in Canada.
And there's a delightful Canadian accent attached to it.
Like our Canadian counterpart.
Exactly.
There you go. All right. Well, everybody,
We hope you keep listening.
and we hope you keep it
Weird. But
weird.
not so weird that you don't go and listen to the Nighttime Podcast. Keep
Isn't that odd?
Canada
I'm wearing a
weird.
shirt that says Keep
Yes.
Canada Weird.
There you go.
It was very on brand.
Waking up exhausted, foggy, and running on empty? For me, one of the missing pieces was magnesium support. That's why I added Magnesium Breakthrough by Optimizers to my nightly routine. It's a powerful all-in-one magnesium complex with 7 forms of magnesium designed to support relaxation, sleep, stress response, and recovery. If you're ready to feel more rested and have a great summer, go to bioptimizers.com/hags and use code HAGS for 15% off any order.
The Colonel's cooked up a new $10 bucket of the day just for you. Monday, 24 nuggets for $10. Tuesday, 8-piece fried chicken for $10. Wednesday, 10 wings for $10. Thursday, 8 tenders for $10. Friday, 24 nuggets for... Ooh, you guessed it, didn't you? $10. The $10 bucket of the day deal. Every weekday. Only at KFC. It's finger licking good.
Prices and participation variable. Supplies last. Not available on third-party ordering platforms. Tax extra.